hair has been falling down. Dracula would not approve of this. I'm sorry, Drax. Hey guys, my name is Gloria and welcome back to my channel where I review all kinds of books but tend to lean towards darker fiction, and I also document my quest to become a published writer myself. So today I want to start off my Horror in 24 videos. This is a readathon that was set up a couple of weeks ago. I think it started on July 11th and it ends on August 3rd, so 24 days of reading horror, and there are 8 different prompts down below. You can also see the co-host down below as well. And I was definitely late to this, but I wanted to join in anyway. I'll link my TBR for the whole thing up above. I'll be doing all of the reviews this week. But the first one I wanted to do, which actually fits with both number 1 and number 2 of the prompts, read a book with red on the cover and also read a book with a haunted house, is Remains by Andrew Cull. I decided to double up on at least one of them just because I had a little less time than other people to read through all the prompts. Every day this week I will be doing a review of the other prompts, and I'll be doing the final review on August 3rd, which is the last day of the readathon. As the first prompt is to do with having red on the cover, I thought I would try and make a little bit of an effort with how I dress today and do a little bit of red in my hair and in my eyeshadow. Haven't put on proper makeup in a very long time since this whole quarantine thing started, so it was interesting to say the least. Don't know if it really worked out, but it's there. I'm kind of liking these bumps I put in my hair, mainly because they just remind me of Dracula, which isn't always a bad thing, you know. But yeah, so today, red on the cover and a haunted house, I picked Remains by Andrew Cull. I picked this book because I bought it in my big birthday book haul in April, and I'd seen so many good things about it on so many different channels, and I just thought, I need to read this. And I'm a stickler for any kind of haunted houses or books about grief, and the tagline for this book seems to be "Grief is a Black House." Incredibly fitting for this book, and also something that will just draw me in. So Remains is actually about Lucy Campbell. It follows her in the aftermath of the brutal and tragic murder of her young son. After he died, she became obsessed with knowing all of the gritty, horrible details of his murder, which was surprisingly difficult for her to come by because so many people, including the investigators, wanted to keep her safe from all of this knowledge, that she didn't need to know it. So she ended up having to voluntarily go into a psychiatric facility for her mental health, and the story opens up on the day that she is leaving against her doctor's best advice. And of course, not long after she leaves, she becomes obsessed and attracted to the house that her son was killed. He wasn't killed in their own house, he was kidnapped and brought to a stranger's house, which now stands empty because those strangers obviously didn't want to live in the house where this happened. And she begins to spend all of her time outside of this house, trying to get into the house, believing that she can see shadows and figures in the windows, and believes that the ghost of her son is still in this house and is waiting for her to come and save him, or even just to give herself a chance to apologise to him. But a cold spot that even the staff noticed followed Lucy around in her time on the ward has followed her to the house, and she is convinced that this cold spot is her son. Some strange things happen. She becomes preoccupied not with moving on and helping her mental health, but with trying to contact her dead son. So in all, Remains is a story about grief, about the loss of a child, but not only losing a child in such a violent and tragic way, and knowing that it wasn't just a quick and painless death. And the way that her son dies in this, whatever you're imagining right now, it's not as bad as the actual death in this. It is horrific, but it isn't played out for gore or anything like that. You do get the sense of the whole picture, and then it isn't repeated lots, which a lot of other books I think do that, and they just sort of, they pull on your heartstrings a little bit too much with that. But just knowing the basic details of it was enough for me, and I think it was well handled in the book. So I knew from the get-go, I sat down, I opened this book on the first page, and I read the first 2 lines, and I knew that this was going to be a good book. So I'm just going to read the first 2 lines just so you get the sense of it. When you're writing, people put a lot of emphasis on the first line of your book, and it has to be fantastic and it has to be unforgettable, and that's not true at all. It just needs to be a good sentence that is readable and makes people want to read on. But sometimes you pick up a book and you read the first sentence and you just have to stop and think, holy shit, that's good. But the first 2 sentences of this are: no one talked openly about the space, the empty corner of Lucy Campbell's room, the way it would draw your attention like a stranger quietly whispering your name, the way it was filled with a cold that felt as if it moved over you, pulling the warmth from your body like someone pulling in a breath before a scream. Yes, those 2 sentences alone gave me chills, and I had to pause and take a minute. And I just think they're great at introducing the main character's name, introducing the darkness of the book, and it sent chills down me. And this is a very chill-inducing book, and I think it really got the tone and the setting of the book really well. So Andrew Cull is a director. He directed a movie called The Possession of David O'Reilly. I think it's David. Yes, David O'Reilly. I have not seen it, but you can definitely tell that he is also a visual artist in this book. Sometimes a trap that you can fall into, that I've fallen into with my own work, when you watch a lot of movies or you make your own movies, is that instead of really writing it like a book or a story, you write it like you're describing scenes from a movie. And being visual in your writing is fine, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think you still need to feel like you're reading a book and not just a movie script or something. He definitely does not fall into that trap with this book. It is very visual, it is very visceral, and I think it could easily be turned into a screenplay of a movie that I would definitely watch. But I think as a book it's very well written, just as a piece of literature as well. I think it's quite unique as well in the way it tells the story. It isn't over the top with gore, like I said. It's more about the unsettling and the uncanny and not knowing what the darkness really is. And as a debut novel, I think it's stunning, I think it's superb. I would definitely recommend this. It is heartbreaking and unsettling, and I would say that anyone who wants to get into horror reading or chilling ghost stories, something that really creeps under your skin, I would definitely recommend this book, and I'm really happy that I bought it. So that is my number 1 and number 2 prompt for Horror in 24. Very glad that I picked this up for this prompt in particular. It could have sat in my TBR for a long time otherwise. My housemate and his band member are recording a demo in the other room, so apologies for any weird noises you're hearing. Tomorrow I will be back for prompt number 3, which was to read a book with a classic monster in it, like a zombie or werewolf or vampire, and I chose to read Carnivorous Lunar Activities by Max Booth III. And the first thing I'd like to say about that book is, don't buy that book. Do not buy it. Wait until my review tomorrow. Don't buy it. I will explain everything in my review of it tomorrow, but don't buy that book. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the subscribers I've gotten so far. I'm very close to keeping up with my goal for the year. If you like what I'm doing, you can like and subscribe down below. You can stay tuned this week for a new video review each workday this week at least. So thank you for watching. I really do hope that you pick up Remains because it is a great book, and I shall see you in the next video.